Okay, alright. Get this back here. Okay. Yep. And yes, I know the mic's hot. Where is it? There we go. Hi. Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome to the stream. My name's Rin, and today we are talking about Legends and Lattes, as you can see from here. And we see Aaron. Yes, we Aaron. Thank you, fabulous beings. Y'all are awesome. Just seriously, Rory, y'all are fabulous. On a complete side note, if strawberry soda adjacent is a thing of interest, Trader Joe's has like 4-packs of strawberry fizzy mineral water sort of thing at the moment that actually tastes pretty good. So yeah, kind of surprised, kind of not, but that's the beverage of choice today. Alright. Also, you know, I was all nice and dressed up and stuff for doing family things and figured, you know what? A, it fits for the book, and B, I just feel like continuing to wear the waistcoat slash vest situation that I've got going on. So that's where we are at the moment. You know? Aw, thank you. And thank you, yes. I had someone ask if I was going to a Victorian type event. And no, just family things. But that is the vibe, yes. Yes, I am fully okay with rocking the pseudo-Victorian aesthetic. Not so much on the perceptions of reality from the Victorian period, but the aesthetic, definitely. Oh, man. Alright. Yeah. So, hoping that everyone is doing good. I just got back from a vintage style, not vintage values. Exactly. That is the thing in a nutshell. Also, if you hear like fan type noises, it's like 90 something degrees here, and we've got the air on, so yeah. And the waistcoat is in. Yeah, wow, I can't read. Okay, one sec. And the waistcoat is indeed on point for the book. It is. It is. Like, okay. Right. When I get all excited about something because it sounds like it's cool, I'm also kind of wary that I've just hyped it up in my head and I'll be disappointed. But, like, we've got, like, fantasy sort of things happening because, like, I mean, look at our main characters, right? the fabulous. Uh, but also, like, one of the shortest ways to get me actively interested in your book is to have it set primarily in a coffee shop with, like, there be some kind of coffee shop meet cute situation between, the main characters and all of that. So, like, we're there with with this. And it's it's got some sapphic vibes so far. I ended up getting up to chapter 7. Where, like, it's just before the shop opens, and Viv, who, like, so just, alright, jumping into it, right? We've got our two, like, main characters right over here on the cover, okay? So Viv is the orc, so the lovely green lady who is muscly and everything on the left. Wow. Okay. On the left side, and what's her name? Can't remember her name. Oh, now it's bugging me. Okay, one sec. Details. Okay. Okay. One second. I look this up. Um. There we go. Tangerine. Okay. Okay. Only, like, on the vibes thing, only because in seeing if it was a book that I wanted to put forward for this, for the book club, one of the consistent comments was that it, like, that it was sapphic or had sapphic undertones or something. So, like, going into it with that, like, I can kind of see that as a thing. And if you look it up, that's one of the elements that keeps coming up under stuff. But that may or may not be a thing. If it's not, it still is shaping up to be seriously awesome. Yeah. And, like, I'm just like, Val is kind of a vibe and a half, honestly. Viv, wow. Oh, jeez. Okay, one second. Apparently the brain space hasn't fully recalibrated from whatever else. Okay. There we go. Okay, yeah. So we're just gonna have a chat like this for a couple of minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah. And things seem to be online again. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Uh, so we've got Viv, who is an orc who used to be, um, from what I can tell, she used to be a mercenary and had a group of really close friends that she'd, um, well, presumably mercenary, uh, but had a group of really close friends that she was, uh, traveling around with. Okay, we have a feeling the What's It Stone is attracting another What's It? Probably. Is that what you were thinking for the what is it? The mystery something that keeps jumping on the roof and stealing the uh, fruitcake that the neighbors gave them. That was a whole thing in and of itself. It's like, ah, yes, the nice neighbor who's not rude because, orcs and stuff. Okay, yeah, no, I'll totally eat your weird fruitcake. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. It's not edible, but alright. We'll try and yeah. But yeah, no, it's I can't remember what it's called exactly. But from the prologue where she's on the last mission that she's working with um the rest of her team. Yeah. Uh the rest of her team, she gets the stone from somewhere in the body of the being that was defeated, right? Which I know sometimes in like legends and stories and whatnot, in order to keep the treasure, whatever the treasure happens to be, safe, sometimes it's like held within the body somewhere. Um, the only instance that's really coming to mind for that is Cass hiding one of the tablets in Supernatural. But there we go. It's the same sort of principle, I guess. And I don't know if we're meant to have existing knowledge of some of the elements in the story going in from like D&D and stuff, or if it's going to be explained through like exposition in the rest of the context. So we'll see what happens with that. So I'm not entirely sure if there's a particular significance to certain particular elements as yet, but we'll see. There was a thought that I was trying to follow, and it's disappeared. Can't quite remember what the original jumping off point was. Alright, on that note, is there music or sound or something coming through the audio that I'm not aware of? Because it's not showing up in the audio readout feed, but I am hearing like ambient sound. So just making sure that that's in another room, not transmitting from the computer. So. That's not what I wanted to look at. Okay. No, okay. Awesome. Fabulous. So, yeah. How was that going? Yeah. So far, we've got in the cast of characters. We've got Viv. Where, where, yes, I forgot temporarily that like the edge the edge of the screen is like right here. So we've got Viv, the lovely orc lady, who gets like real awkward around at least certain people. uh Tandre, who is a succubus, who's the purple lady on the other side there. Calamity, or Cal, who is a hob carpenter, who is the one Viv hires to essentially fix the place because it's in very bad disrepair when she buys it from the previous owner who was using it as a stable. It was a livery before it became a coffee shop. No one in the area knows what coffee is, presumably. No one's heard of it. There's a whole lot of jokes about bean water, which fair, because that's essentially what it is. And there's, what was it? There was a particular line in, like, I don't know, chapter 2, 3, something like that. And it was essentially like, coffee's amazing, and if you drink it, it brings this sense of peace and tranquility. But if you drink too much of it, it does exactly the opposite, and that's not a good thing. No, that is not a good thing. And yeah, just ah, it's one of those books that, like, I don't want to stop reading it because it's just like a fun time. Like, I don't want to stop reading it to, like, do the break off points, even though that's a good way to do it. And it keeps me from, like, just powering through stuff all the time, which is a thing that I do otherwise. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, Viv is an orc barbarian hero. There we go. Yeah. And after doing a lot of research and sketching out the ideas that she's got for this prospective shop, ends up going to Thune. The town that she ends up in. Finds Cal, who is a shipwright and kind of confused as to what this strange new person is gonna do, but yeah. Yeah, suddenly it was chapter 8 and thought we were that into it, right? Right? It's like, it's just not, it's just, they're just, like, having a chat about stuff. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's on what chapter now? Okay. Alright. Oh. You're like, Cal? Yeah, no, Cal's kind of awesome. Like, he just is. He just really is. Like, wanting to like, just the three of them, because at this point we don't really know what the makeup of the rest of Thune is, right? We just know that the I can't remember his name, but like the stone elf guy is working with the magical that, from the sounds of it, is kind of the equivalent of the local like mob, I suppose. So like not so great on that one. Uh where was I going with that? Basically, Cal's awesome, and like the oh yeah, okay. We don't know like what the breakup of the group is, like what the town is predominantly made up of as far as people, but we do know that Cal and Viv and uh, once again and Tandry have all like not been treated the best by society in general, just from like um, existing prejudices and expectations based on like race and uh, class in the like the D&D sort of sense. And we've got like Viv just kind of spearheading the whole thing of like, I mean, I was a barbarian, but the sword is literally just like hanging on the wall right now, and I want to start a coffee shop, so whatever. And just the inherent respect between a lot of them, and it seems like okay. We wondered how the Godfather equivalent came to be called the Magical, and imagine the author knew a very vicious singer. Deciding to not pay up does seem like a dumb decision. Yeah, it like I get that that's not a thing that she wants to do, but like, you have to live in the area, right? Like, that's where the shop is, that's where your house is, you're literally living in the shop. B, like, all the friends that you've met there have told you, like, this is a bad idea. Like, you need to take this seriously because, like, they're gonna mess you up. And if they can't, like, mess stuff up with you specifically, they can go after your stuff and your friends. So, like, maybe, like, sort some things out. Like, I get it. I get it. But also, Yeah, the respectful, healthy relationships being fostered so far are great. Yeah. And like, just okay. At the end, it's either the end or the middle of 7. 7? Was it 7 or something? It's gotta be 7, right? That's why I kept hearing a, like, voice somewhere. It's been playing the audiobook. I opened it up again and it's like randomly on chapter 12. So, yeah, that's great. Okay, yeah, there we go. No, stop. There you go now. Just have a sit. Alright, I'm just gonna, ow, take that off. You can sit over there in the corner. Alright, so now the whispering has stopped. I don't feel so nuts anymore. Because it sounded like it was coming from the mic, which is not possible? I don't know. It's one of those days, apparently. Oh, man. Anyway, moving on. Ah! So. At whatever point in 7, presumably, it was, we've got Cal coming through and, like, he's just spent hours, presumably, carving this sign for the shop because Viv couldn't figure out what to call it. They're trying to open the next day. No one else has an idea, whatever. And made this, like, actually any microphone can be a speaker and vice versa. Yeah. Interesting. I was not aware of that. Good to know. Good to know. That does kind of make sense, though. You would just need to maybe alternate how the tech works on that. Intriguing. But yeah, so the time needed, right? Even for like a really skilled craftsperson to carve out from memory the the sword that your friend uses into a shield Which, like, just as a symbolic thing, right? Having a shield be the sign for an establishment is indicating that it's a safe place. It's a shield protected by a sword because it's got the sword emblazoned on it. It's the same as having like a lion or a griffin or something on a shield. It's like that's the protection that you're under, but you are protected. And the just the symbolism in there, it's like fabulous. Now, once again, that could be a thing that's like reading into it more than what was intended by the author. But from what I can tell, the dude is kind of known for writing game dynamics and things like that, and that seems like a thing that wouldn't be entirely out of the realm of possibility. So there's that. But yeah. Symbolism went over our heads. What is this tastiness again? Okay, so it's gotta be in, because I know I stopped. I want to say I stopped right before it started chapter 8. So, like, I did 7. And somewhere in chapter 7, they're starting to kind of close up shop, and are kind of getting ready for opening day the next day. And everyone's kind of doing their thing. And Cal comes over with a sign. And it's like, well, I mean, you don't have to use it. Like, I was just doing a thing, and if you don't want to use it, that's fine. But like, it's here, and if you want it, like, it's here, and I thought you might like it, and yeah, and he turns it around, and the sign is in the shape of, I want to say it's a kite shield. That's probably not the right term. But it's in the shape of a shield with Viv's sword going down the center. And it says Legends and Lattes, like, along the sides. So, like, the Legends and Lattes are on the shield, so that is a protection thing too. But B, it's turning the sword from a weapon of battle to an extension of the shield. To, like, it's turning the sword into a protector, which it's been a protection for Viv and her friends in the traveling troupe, shall we say? Uh, But in the coffee shop, it's kind of become like, well, at the end of what, six, she's got like uh a holly bough kind of twisted around it, which, remember what's that was another one that I was gonna look up and forgot. Okay, one sec. Okay, so like okay, thought it was just a rectangle shaped. Yes, all the symbolism. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's holly that's kind of twisted around the sword, right? Um, the Druids regarded holly as a symbol of fertility and eternal life. Um, in Celtic mythology, it symbolizes peace and goodwill. Um, and in Celtic and Norse mythos, it's associated with thunder and is planted near dwellings to protect people from lightning. And the primary meaning for the holly flower is domestic happiness. So, taking all of that together, we've got protection and happiness and like fertility of like ideas and fertility of like plans and things and protection of friends and all of that just kind of coalescing into the sword and shield combination. Which, like, from what I can tell, the Tali is just on the physical sword. It's not been, like, carved into the likeness. So, but it still fits. It's just slightly more transient. That said, holly is one of the more kind of robust plants. So if you have a cut branch and you put it somewhere, unless you mess with it a lot, it's probably gonna be fine and just like stay there and hold its shape and whatever. Like if you go messing with it after it's dried, it'll like break off bits and stuff, just like any other dried material would. But there you go. Yeah. Uh, hmm. there was also that like funny bit in there of we also hope the sword still unsheaths easily because Chekhov's dead. Yeah, yeah. It like I understand her not wanting to have the sword like at the ready, if you will, like not have it in a holster that she's carrying around all the time. But just like yeah. You have to kind of be able to draw the only weapon that you have in an emergency, right? You know? You might have less of a likelihood of a random brawl breaking out if there's no alcohol involved than if you had a tavern, but there's still that. And there's still, like, someone sending out enforcers to collect protection money. And the number of times that I have seen people be like, ah, yes, there's this person who's trying to stab me. I will grab this sword off the wall. And then spend like 10 minutes trying to get the sword out of like this like other sword combo stabbed through a shield looking thing because it's supposed to be decorative and not actually used, even though it's an actual sword. Which I will say, as just a comedic point, when the characters like just say, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna use it anyway, and then just like use the whole thing as a weapon successfully, mind. Like that's a skill. That it's a weird skill, but it's a skill. Haven't seen that too much, but every once in a while it shows up in something, and alright, you did the thing. But yeah, if the point of having a visible weapon is to be a deterrent against someone like messing with you, it kind of needs to be a visibly functional weapon. You know? Like, I do understand, though, that she's just spent the last, 20-something years, being a like, sword master, barbarian, and it needs, like, a change. And sometimes it takes a while to be able to go back to whatever it was that you were doing for X amount of time. Um, but in the interim, you need to still be able to actually draw your sword, you know? uh, Seriously. I am really curious as to what kind of mystery critter, like, just randomly keeps jumping on the roof, though, and stealing fruitcake. That was a weird one. Like, because if it's two different characters, I would be very surprised. But, like, someone who's, like, jumping on the roof and also steals fruitcake. That no one else in the establishment managed to really choke down more than, like, 2 bites of. So yeah, we'll see what pans out with that one in future chapters. But I don't know. Alright. Yeah. It's like we're waiting for the neighbor lady to get hired for something. Yeah. Like, okay, before the whole fruitcake thing, right? I I had an idea that, you know, she might be hired to bake something, especially when it's like, oh yeah, it was my baking day. Here, have this. But after witnessing the aftermath of that whole situation, general sweeping might be more of a thing, or like manning the coffee tap situation. I don't know. To sit outside and say, like, I mean, I don't drink it, but, like, it smells cool, so have at it. Like, I don't know. I do appreciate the little character element of, oh, no, you enjoy the coffee, like, you enjoy the whatever that is. My system doesn't like it when I try new things anymore, so I'll just not do that. But you have fun. Like, seriously, it just seems real cool. Pretty chill, and also kind of really not at the same time. Just generally a cool type of lady. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how stuff goes with that. Maybe it was intended as a defensive fruitcake. Dwarves weaponize them in this world. Perhaps. Perhaps. I was not aware of that. I was not aware of the defensive fruitcake maneuver. Okay. I will keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if, like, I will say, if, there's been a rash of unexplained, excuse me, unexplained, uh, window ledge pie thefts, or the like, tracking a defensive fruitcake might prove useful. Looks like an innocuous baked good. Looks like a break. Oh no. Ah. Oh. I'm just seeing like one of those scenes where like the friend is just like, oh yeah, here, have a pint of the face, but it something didn't work out because somebody didn't get the memo that, that's not how that's not how that's supposed to go. Ah, yeah. Which, like, complete side tangent, but like the whole the whole tradition of doing a cake or pie in the face thing is just like, if you're giving me a thing, I want to be able to eat it. Thanks. Just, don't want to wear it. I want to eat it. Right? That, and if you make me wear it, not gonna be a happy bunny. Say that much right now. Just really not. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I do like watching Viv try and explain to the people that she's interacting with what a coffee shop is, or like what coffee is, because like, just as a thing, right? Like, there are certain things that there has to be, like, for everything that's like around, right? There's someone who like came up with the idea first, but also someone who was exposed to whatever it was and then had to go describe the thing to their friends, and it, like, in context of the story, without the added benefit of like being able to record something or have, I don't know, easily transportable goods or whatnot. Pies are better eaten. Do not recommend pies as makeup. Yeah. Like, you can get the berry color for like lipstick or something in a product that's for that purpose. It's shocking, I realize. But you can. You don't need to be wearing the pie to do that. you know. And then you get the crust everywhere, and it's like flaky, and it makes it look like you got like 10 kinds of dandruff or whatever, which, like, for anyone coming at me in the comments for that, like, the hyperbole. um, but yeah, yeah. I don't think there were any other points that I was looking to make. Anyone else have particular thoughts or observations or what have you? No, no, no. Anyone coming at you in the comments has to be ready to face the central there, just saying. Yes, yes, the fabulous and amazing. Want to try and finish it for next time since it reads so fast? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could totally do that. If we don't finish it, that's cool. If we do, also cool. But yeah, we can. That's the wrong button. There we go. I'll just put the phone over there. Yeah. But yeah, we can aim for finishing it for next week. That's cool. And that being said, think about what you want to see for the next one. Because I honestly have no idea. I'm feeling a bit more like fiction than non-fiction at the moment, though, so we've got a list somewhere, if I remember right. We can do a poll or something and pick from them. Yeah, we can aim for finishing up Legends and Lattes next week. So far, I'm really enjoying it, though. And the shop isn't even open yet. They're just, setting it up. But it's cool. And stuff. But yeah. Ow. I did a slap for emphasis that was harder than I intended. That was like right on the bone right there. Not the best of decisions. Today. But yeah. If there's tea in this world, we'd explain coffee as like tea but made with a different plant with a more robust flavor. That is a good way to do it. Yeah. Because I think the closest that we've got in the storyline so far to that is like, well, it's like tea, but not. That doesn't quite have the same flair to it. You know? Or, Cal's constant comments of, like, bean water. Like, okay. It's accurate to what it is, right? But just just the description of a latte as a milky bean water. Why do you have a bruise? My emphasis was too emphatic. I mean, yes. Basically, yes. Oh. Yeah, no. On top of which, this is still partially, like, decompressing a bit from dealing with grammar shenanigans all day. I digress. Yeah. Anyway. So, here's that. Yeah, so we're gonna try and finish the book for next week. Also like the bean water comments. Yeah. Yeah. It's like whenever I hear someone describe coffee as bean water, it's just like, alright, yeah, accurate. Kinda weird, but accurate, yeah. Fair. And there's all these people that are like coffee purists or whatever, and just like, it's not, no, it's not, it's coffee. Coffee's amazing. You can't insult coffee like that. It's literally just describing what it is, though. So, just saying. This is literally what it is. I did also appreciate the absolute snark of like Cal dragging a stove over to the shop and just like, oh yeah, okay, so you wanted to make coffee? You wanted to heat water to make coffee? How are you gonna do that without a stove? How? How? Did you did you make a fire somewhere? Like where? How are you gonna heat water to do this if I hadn't brought you a stove? Out of curiosity. uh, Tea and coffee are both hot plant juice, right? Seriously, it's just like, oh god. Like hot bean water and what, leaf water, which like just sounds gross if you're talking about it like that. And like they just equally sound weird, which as a concept it really kind of is, but also it's kind of up there with like the idea of milk and everything else. Like, okay. the, honestly, the process of figuring out things that are edible as a trial and error thing is kind of fascinating. Not so much in the, like, you eat the wrong thing, you die, but, like, okay, this is a commonly consumed thing, right? So, which one of you geniuses decided to try that first? Case in point with, like, peppers and stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, yes, this thing that makes it feel like my face is burning. I want more. Must consume all of the flame things. Yeah. Alright. So. There is that. Also, just like complete side tangent, right? Like, I feel kind of accomplished. I think it was Friday? I want to say it was Friday. Like, I read and watched the entirety of Heartstopper. Like, the graphic novel adaptation, not the weird, like, horror movie thing. Just to see if the series was on Amazon Prime too. I looked up the title, and it's like, if you look up Heartstopper on Amazon Prime Video, it's like the horror video thing, like a horror movie. So just fair warning on that. But the Netflix one is like adorable. Anyway. Yeah. So, that's, we read the blog post. Are you planning to go into the plant bits in more detail? Yeah. At that point, I wanted to do I wanted to do a write-up before seeing the film adaptation, but I've got both of them in my head now, kind of doing their thing. So I'm gonna do a write-up for the film part, and then, like, talk a bit more about the plant aspects and stuff in maybe a third thing, maybe something else. But yeah, no, that it's coming. I don't know what that was, but yeah, it's fine. The usual level of awkwardness around around these parts. It's all good. Okay. Yeah. So, final thoughts, anybody? Or not? Ow. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Alright. So, gonna try and finish the book for next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, barring extenuating circumstances or whatnot, that's what's going down. And yeah. So we've got we've got a few people in the chat at the moment. What do you think? Do we want to raid? Or do we want to just sign off? I don't know. And if we want to raid, anyone have suggestions? Because I'm discovering that I follow a lot of people and have no idea who to go visit. Alright. But yeah, in the interim though, thank you for hanging out and being generally awesome and fabulous and participating in the shenanigans that are book club streams over on twitch.tv/adventuring. If you're watching this later in the playback or on YouTube, especially YouTube, the links to excuse me, everything are in the description down below, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one, everybody. But yeah, if anyone has ideas for the next read, feel free to post them in the Discord. Yes, thank you, Honeycomb, for sharing that. Yeah. Always open to ideas of that. The only real restriction, caveat, whatnot, is that being it's the Botany Book Club, that there be some kind of botanical thing. Like for this over here, it's a coffee shop. That sort of thing. And hugs for you too. Alright. Yeah, I'm glad that we got back early enough to do the stream tonight. I was out. I was kind of worried about that, but we made a point to leave slightly earlier than have done sometimes. So, yay. Okay. So, do you guys want to do an art thing or a gaming thing? I'm glad we got to have stream too. Have a good night. Yeah, have a fabulous night. There's not sure what they're working on entirely, but Elder Worm Studio is doing episode 13 of a, it looks like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. If that's the thing of interest. Yeah, I'm kind of neutral on rating at this point. It's like it's one of those that I don't think I'm gonna be hanging around personally to do much of anything for the next bit. I want to go change out of this. But yeah. Alright. Explore this. We'll do the click and see what it does. Oh yeah, they've got a full campaign that they're working on right now. Let's end it then. Company's calls. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Have a fabulous evening. I will see you later. Thursday, around these parts. If not before. Yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Bye. Hearts. Yeah, okay. It's just like genuinely not comfy on my wrist to try and like. Alright. Anyway. Hugs. Hugs for everyone. Have a good night, guys.